Evening, ladies and gentlemen, it's 6 p.m., Tuesday, October 13th, 2020. Town of Grand Rapids Fire Station, the board is meeting. Prior to the regular meeting, we will hold 3 public hearings. First public hearing will be discontinuance of a portion of public right-of-way. The certain road portions are described as to wit. Part of Ridgeway Trail, an underdeveloped portion of Ridgeway Trail, formerly described to wit as Outlot 2 of Wood County Certified Survey Map 10737, as recorded on June 25th, 2020 at 11:40 a.m. in Volume 40 of Certified Surveys, page 37, as documented number 2020R05955, part of Government Lot 3, Section 19, Township 22 North, Range 6 East, Government Lot 6, Section 24, Township 22 North, Range 5 East, all in the town of Grand Rapids, Wood County, Wisconsin. First public hearing is pertaining to a portion of a road that was recently developed before into the Bullseye Country Club, and is now not going to be used, and they asked for a discontinuance of it. So the process for a public hearing is I will ask if anybody wishes to speak against the item, and after that I will ask for those that wish to speak in favor of the item. So if anybody is against the discontinuation of the road as listed, please raise your hand, announce your name and your address to speak to the item. Anybody against? Second time, anybody against? Third and final time, anybody wishing to speak against? Hearing none, I'll turn to anybody wishing to speak in favor of. Is there anybody in the audience wish to speak in favor of? Anybody wish to speak in favor of? Anybody wish to speak in favor of? Hearing none, we'll call that public hearing closed and move to the second public hearing. And bear with me while I bring the party on. She's asked to listen and be able to speak by Hi, Lena. This is Arnie from the town of Grand Rapids. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I've got you on the speakerphone, and I'm going to announce your public hearing now. And what I'll do is give folks in the audience, if they wish to speak against it, the opportunity first, and then we'll call for anybody wishing to speak in favor of it. So,
okay, thank you.
Okay, the town of Grand Rapids Town Board will conduct a public hearing on the following action. Leetta Stroh's an application for a comprehensive map change to rezone from B1 commercial to A agricultural, 9.12 acres, located at 4821 Kellner Road. Is there anybody in the audience that is against the changing of the rezoning for that parcel at 4821 Kellner Road, the 9.12 acres? Anybody wishing to speak against? Third and final time, anybody wish to speak against? Hearing none, anybody in the audience wish to speak in favor of? Anybody wish to speak in favor of? Third and final time, anybody wish to speak in favor of? Hearing none, I'll call that public hearing closed. And for your purpose, Leetta, we will be taking up the item when it gets on the agenda at time. Do you wish me to call you back when it's on the agenda?
No, that's fine. You don't have to.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye.
We'll call her back then. Got her number. All right, let's see, we closed that public hearing. We're going to open up the final public hearing. David Ramsden Storage Unlimited LLC application for a comprehensive map change and to rezone from A agricultural to B1 commercial, 19.62 acres, located at 3801 80th Street North, parcel 0700003B. That's a rezoning of the parcel of 9.12 acres. Anybody in the audience wish to speak against the rezoning?
It was 19.62.
19.62. Okay. And please, your name for the record so that the acting clerk can write your name down.
My name is Chris Stofflet. I live at 3185 80th Street North.
Okay, hang on a second. Did you do all that?
Chris Stofflet, and your address again?
3185 80th Street North.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead and speak your comments.
I purposely built out there, I purposely bought land out there and rebuilt my home out there because I enjoy the wildlife. I enjoy the acreage that it offers. I don't appreciate that. I accept that he has B1 commercial for, I want to say it's 3 point or 6 point some acres already, which is the house. I don't appreciate making all commercial because that opens up the doors for whatever he wants to do, which is storage, whatever that individual wants to do. I want to keep it zoned residential or agricultural because I was informed last night because I attended the meeting last night, and the reason why folks come to Grand Rapids is Grand Rapids has tremendous things to offer, and one of the things that was noted in the meeting last night that Grand Rapids is noted for acreage with land and trees, and it varies from half acre to hundreds of acres because it has beautiful trees, everything's tucked back in things, and it's beautiful. So I don't want to see anything taken away. I don't want to see commercial stuff. I understand it's on Highway 54 / County Trunk U, but that does not, in my eyes, it doesn't make it right. I also mentioned that it also brings more crime. I was told that last night it does not bring more crime because that individual did not see. So I made a phone contact this morning to the Sheriff's Department and dispatch, and I wanted open records of crime activity, and I also am on with Wood County Rescue, and I know individuals for the Sheriff's Department, and I called a couple individuals up, and they said it's a very, very nice location for drug dealers and different sets of crime, and I can get those open records for you, but she didn't have time to dispatch. And then also, I like to personally have you guys put in my situation, because I can guarantee you, the town board people would not appreciate this being zoned to commercial when you enjoy the trees and stuff like that. Put yourself in our shoes and my neighbor's shoes. You don't want to see a building going up and all the other commercial stuff going up. If it was going in your neighborhood, you guys wouldn't appreciate it. So I'm asking for you to fight for my neighborhood and appreciate my feelings and thoughts, because I don't want to see buildings going up. I don't want to see whatever else that individual has in mind, or selling it to bigger establishments. I didn't buy that land to see that kind of stuff. I bought that land to enjoy the wildlife and enjoy the scenery. I didn't enjoy that.
Thank you for your comment. Is there anybody else wishing to speak against? Go ahead in that corner, sir.
Yeah, I live at 3210 80th Street North. My name is Robert Benner.
Hold on a second, Robert, till she gets that down,
Yeah.
please.
I
Is it
will.
Benner?
Yes,
3210 80th Street?
yes,
Thank you.
Okay, Robert, go ahead.
north, that is north. So yeah, I have the same concerns that Mr. Stofflet has, and I was a former private detective. I know that when you've got more commercialism introduced into an area, storage areas, I've been, the one out in Rudolph had a problem with it being burnt out and whatever, and there was a crime committed there, and then someone burned the units or set them afire, and so on. Now they don't have anything out there, to my knowledge. But I know that things happen there. The increased noise The zoning ordinances, I don't know if they, when you go to, from, as it is now to commercial, if they have a height requirement. If they don't have a height requirement, I'm concerned about that because then they can be up higher, and of course they would want security lights and so on. They're gonna be on 24/7 whenever it gets dark. That's another concern. It's also gonna open up more traffic to that area. We have too much traffic on Highway, County Trunk U, with all the people commuting to and from Stevens Point, to Rapids and vice versa. People are going 70 and 80 miles an hour up and down that road, throwing their beer cans and beer bottles out. They're not being stopped. I've called Wood County Police several times. It's logged in there. And I'm a little tired of it. Now I just let it happen and let them tear it up and screw it all up. I've seen it before. It's bad attitude because I've lived in cities. I lived in Chicago. I lived in Las Vegas. And I know that once they start relaxing things and letting it go downhill, it goes downhill, and pretty soon you've got shootings and whatnot. So I know that we don't have them yet in this area, but I do know that they were selling heroin, and it was in the Lincoln High School parking lot. And they had a problem with that. And then a known counselor here in Wisconsin Rapids informed me of that. Because I said I was against things like that. I would like to assist them in any way to make sure that doesn't come into our communities, because I know what it does to families, children, and whatever. So I know that with the increased traffic and in business and whatever, like Mr. Stoffel said, we've got a little bit of wildlife there and so on, the birds and whatever. It's people like to watch them and whatever, listen to them, and we've got it okay now. But if you don't say something about it, eventually it's just going to deteriorate. And somebody might want to, Mr. Ogilvy, that lived there for 50 or 60 years, he and his family, they did some light gardening and so on. One time they raised some beef there. So that these are concerns that we're seeing the neighborhood in that respect deteriorate. We don't want to see it go into commercial. Farming, agriculture, we could see that. Guy's going to get his tractor out and plow and do raise some corn or something like that. That's okay. It's a little noisier sometimes, but not often. So.
Is there anything else for your comment?
No, that's pretty much it, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Is there anybody else in the audience who wishes to speak against? Go ahead, ma'am. State your name and record.
Keisha Stofflet. I live at 3185 80th Street North.
Okay, go ahead.
My concern is, one, the crime that it would bring to the area. We have little kids that play in our backyard, so their safety is going to be at risk. During this time that we're in, and they're only in school part-time and not part-time, that they're home alone for periods of time during the day. People know that. I don't want to have any more exposure for my children to be in danger. And when they're playing outside, who knows who's coming, who knows who's watching them. I mean, so I'm concerned about that. Storage units, I'm sure there's other properties that are better suited in a better commercialized area. There's already some brand new ones being built down in Kellner, which is only a couple miles away. So I don't think that our area needs to be changed, and we have a family-oriented area. There's other children, I know it's not the town of Grand Rapids, but that live down Glenwood and across the street. So we have a neighborhood that's safe for our children right now. We don't want to see it be compromised. And when I talked to the Wood County officer last night, he did say that it does bring crime to the area, and the sheriff's department does have those records. We just couldn't get them today. But it will potentially put us at risk for more crime and more drug activity in our area, which is not happening right now. So I don't think it's fair to put our children at risk, especially in the world we live in today.
All right, thank you for your comment. Is there anybody else in the audience wish to speak against? Hearing no other wishing to speak against, or is there anybody in the audience wish to speak in favor of? Go ahead, name for the record.
So my name is Jamie White. and I live at 3410 Deer Road. Obviously, I'd like to speak in favor of representing Storage Unlimited. And when we looked at purchasing this parcel, we purchased it with the intent that we would be able to do something potentially commercial in nature in the future, since it is along Highway 54 as well as along County U, and then it backs up to a railroad track. So we thought that that would be a really good fit. And we know that there's commercial across 54, you know, where you have the landscapers. And then right across the street, I think there's, I don't know if it's a car yard or something, but it seemed like it was actually a good potential area. There's a lot of traffic already, and as far as us adding traffic, we really wouldn't add that much traffic. So just seemed like it was a good commercial option.
All right, thank you. Anybody else in the audience wish to speak in favor of? Third final time, anybody else wish to speak in favor of? Hearing none, we'll call the public hearings closed and move to the regular agenda items. First item on our agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance, if you care to join us. William?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 2, approved agenda for meeting.
I was wondering if we could, if I could make a motion to table number 13 in regards to the walking trail. I was not able to get the information on it promptly enough for me to investigate it or look into it and study it, so.
I will second that.
Motion been made and seconded to table item 13 is monthly reports from committees.
That's the walking trail one, I'm
Oh, wait a minute, I'm looking at minutes, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the minutes. Apologize, my error. You are correct, it's item 13. I'm looking at last month's minutes. Motion been made and seconded to table. Is there any discussion? I guess there is no discussion on the table. There is no discussion on the table, I understand that.
Right. No, is she tabling it to a certain time or date?
Oh, till the next, thank you, Bill, to the next meeting.
Oh.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
Aye, I'm opposed. Was it 2 or 3?
Oh, no.
Okay, motion denied to cancel the table. Move to item 3, approve minutes from the board meeting, which I was apparently referring to a minute ago, for September 8th. Is there a motion by anybody?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Motion by Bill,
I'll second.
seconded by Dan. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? No opposed. All right, what do we do with it now? All right, back on track. We also had minutes from September 15th. I apologize. Do you want to make a separate motion on that then?
I said the minutes.
Minutes? Is that good then? All right. If you're good, I'm good. Public comment period. People in the audience wishing to speak to the board, limited to 2 minutes each. The public comment period will not total more than 30 minutes. Anybody in the audience wish to speak to the board? Hearing nobody wishing to speak, we'll move to item 5, the monthly reports from departments. You have those in your packets. You can read them at your leisure, and if there's any comments, you can direct them directly to the writer of those reports. Item 6, consider a possible action on resolution 2020-24. Consider final resolution for discontinuation of undeveloped portion of Ridgewood Trail, Town of Grand Rapids, Wood County, Wisconsin.
Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve. Just what you read.
The motion is made by Bill, seconded by Dan, for Resolution 20-24, the discontinuation. Any discussion? Hear none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, opposed? No opposed. Motion carries. It's done there, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Number 7, consider possible action ordinance 2020-30, proposed comprehensive land use classification change from agricultural to B1 commercial, described as 9.12 acres located at 4821 Kellner Road, parcel 0700677.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2020-30.
Motion is by Dan, and it was seconded by Patty. Any discussion?
Yes, it should be from commercial to agricultural. Thank you, Shirley.
Where does it say that on the motion here?
And number 7, or it's not on the, it's on the agenda. Shirley is in reference to the agenda. On number 7, it says to change from agricultural to B1. And so she just wanted to ensure that.
It's from B,
And we have the actual ordinance 2020-30 that actually says from agricultural
To-
to commercial. And so that is incorrect. So number 7 should be
we-
from commercial to agricultural.
and the public hearing was correct. Is that right? All right, then we can change this.
Yes, correct.
Commercial to ag.
Thank you, Shirley.
We had a motion and a second, correct? Did we?
Was
I
it
make a
word?
motion, Patty,
Yeah, but let's reword that motion to amend, as presented.
as presented, yes, from
But-
commercial to agriculture.
Correct, with the changes. I will second that.
Okay. Any discussion?
Good catch.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed? No opposed. Turn the page. Item 8, consider possible action of resolution 20-27.
And this is correct. This one is correct. To rezone from B1 commercial to a agricultural.
That's not what was last night.
And number 8.
See, we have to have an ordinance to do it, and then you have the resolution. So this is correct. Commercial, oh, no, this is incorrect.
Number 8, the way that it is worded on number 8 should be correct. It is to rezone
From
from
commercial.
commercial
That's-
to agricultural.
You are correct, Patty. It is correct.
Right, and so number 8 is resolution 2020-27 is correctly stated that Solson would like to rezone from B1 commercial to A agricultural, 9.12 acres located at 4821 Kellner Road, parcel number 0700677.
All right,
And I
so
can make that motion.
Patty, motion is made by Patty,
I'll second.
seconded by Amber. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. I'm an aye. Anybody opposed? No opposed? We're on number 9. Consider possible action on ordinance 2020-31, proposed comprehensive land use classification change from agricultural to B1 commercial, described as 19.2 acres at 3601 80th Street North, parcel number 0700003B.
I'll make a motion, to approve the 2020-31 for discussion purposes.
And I'll second that.
Motion by Dan, seconded by
Patty?
Patty. Discussion.
Last night at the Plan Commission,
as you well know, we had a very lengthy discussion in regards to it. We discussed the future land use, as you can see here, and then also we were looking also at our comprehensive plan, and we talked about the future land use. It was a consensus of the meeting that the future land use of this particular piece of property did make sense to go to commercial. And we did discuss about possibilities that if the storage facility, unlimited storage, would come and want to get a permit to build storage units, there could be contingencies that we could set forth to have a section of land set aside for, to make it more workable with the neighboring people.
Like green space.
Yes, the green space,
But at
whatever.
this time,
But
we're just,
at this time,
we're
right.
only discussing the rezoning, correct?
Right.
Correct. And I just wanted to make that statement
Yeah.
that at this time, this is what we're talking about. We can't speculate what they're going to be doing with the property. They pay taxes on it. They have a lot of rights as far as what they want to do with the property. And if there is any buildings, it does have to come back to this way. So we did talk about it, and the Plan Commission did agree that it was conducive to being commercial property because of the railroad tracks that are behind it. It's on a corner of two major highways in our town, Highway 54 and 80th Street, or Highway U. And it does fit into the comprehensive plan, which was in 2009 as far as the future land use.
Okay, and just for comments, board members, because there has been objectors to this, written objectors, it will require a 4/5 vote to pass instead of our normal 2/3 per our attorney. Are there any other questions? Any other questions, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the rezoning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. It is rezoned.
We'll be watching that area for sure.
Right.
I'll keep a damn good eye on it. I know how to do that.
Good for you. I understand that. I live right by one. Consider a possible action on Resolution 2020-28, David Ransom Storage Unlimited LLC for comprehensive map change for rezone from ag to commercial B1, 19.62 acres located at 3801 80th Street North, 07000-3B. This is the actual resolution. First one was an ordinance change.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2020-28.
Motion by Bill, seconded by
I'll second that. Dan?
Amber got it.
Oh,
She's
sorry,
quicker.
Amber.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, but aye, any opposed? No opposed. Item 11, discuss Halloween trick or treat or trick or treating recommendations. Conversation that I had with Mel is he'd like to just leave it as is and let people, if they wish to put stuff out, turn on land, go ahead.
Can I
Yes.
ask a question, because I'm gonna leave? Would the residents that are close to that property, are they gonna get a mailed letter to them when they are going to ask for a building permit and stuff like that?
Yeah.
So I don't have to keep watching business meetings and stuff like that, or?
I'm not sure, sir, but we'll find an answer for you. We have your address, we'll send you a note, okay?
Please do. Because I am in town of Grand Rapids and I would appreciate it.
I understand. Again, Mel's recommendation would be to follow the same thing the city is doing. If you wish to trick or treat, you put stuff out. If you don't, leave your light off. Strongly recommending that people don't use interaction. They can maybe just put out the box of candy and When the first one takes it all, they're gone, then you're done.
Yeah, don't they have an app out there? I think it was called
Nextdoor has a map app that, but I don't know how many people really use it.
Yeah, I don't know either. I just
So-
heard about it.
So I guess we're just looking for a recommendation if we follow, typically we follow the city of Wisconsin Rapids 5 to 7 hours, and so we're uniform, that we don't have people jumping from one municipality to the other. Dan?
For consistency, I would like us all to follow the city's rule, but I would like to see the recommendation is we don't, don't have it this year, personally. That's my personal opinion. But if the city has already made that decision and their recommendation is they're gonna be as normal, I think for consistency purposes, it's gonna be confusing if we go different. And
I can tell you that it is this right now, but they said they do have one more meeting before the actual trick or treating, and they may change that. Was that correct, Bill? That was the discussion I heard?
Yes, with that city, most of the people go there.
well, I don't know about, I mean, yeah, there's a ton of people there, but I'll tell you what, our subdivisions are
Yeah.
pretty packed.
I was gonna say,
I
ours
mean,
is quite
Ours,
busy.
I, in the past, I've taken my grandkids around, my kids, and, yeah, it's pretty packed, but
Are you looking for a motion?
We need a motion
How about if
I
we-
think the easiest motion would be if you're willing to state it, to either go with the city's recommendations or against it, either one, I guess.
I guess I'll make a recommendation that we follow the city's,
Yeah.
recommendation,
Okay.
the City of Wisconsin Rapids recommendation, and follow suit.
I'll second.
Motion by Dan, seconded by Patty. Is there any other discussion?
So if the city were to recommend not, then we would also
Then we would not.
Then we would not, yep.
Any other discussion?
Does the city actually work with the Wood County Health Department then as far as those type of
I don't think
recommendations,
so.
do you know?
I don't think they need to, but they do follow with other recommendations, I don't think.
Yeah, I would hope.
I don't think the health department, I don't know, did
The health department.
they make any recommendation?
To not.
No,
No, they did not.
Okay.
And the mayor said on the radio that he just as soon have it.
Mhm.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, but anybody opposed? Motion carries. So, Bob wanted to be over here. I'm gonna text him and maybe we'll move to the other items and come back to
Yeah,
it,
can we
okay?
just put number 12 towards the
Yeah, let me,
end?
give me a second, bear with me. I'll give him 5 minutes. All right, I just gave him a 5 minute. He may not be here. They're going through a critical debrief for the 2 bad accidents we had this weekend. All right, so we'll move to item 13. We'll put 12 after he shows. Consider a possible action on the resolution or the proposal for a walking trail. Amber, do you want to go through this maybe by discussion of it, and for those that didn't get a chance, maybe they can follow up with you.
Sounds good. So this would just be a connection, extension between the bike path that goes up to 32nd Street, well, goes past, but up to 32nd Street, and then utilizing the railroad right away to 48th, and then onto North Beach into Napgezek. So looking at this, some of the needs, of course, would be signage, so people know where to go, and then also hard pack to be able to put from 32nd to 48th on that existing railroad right away. We did have the Keller Knights Snowmobile Club, and they did not feel that that would be an issue to have hard pack down on there as far as for snowmobile use. Also needed would just be some painted lines for pedestrian crossing on 32nd Street and then also on 48th Street. I did talk to Mel, and he said that the angle of where the railroad right-of-way comes off on 48th to North Beach Road, that wouldn't be an issue at all. And he was very much so in favor of getting people off of Wazeecha, is it Wazeecha Avenue? Yeah. So as you go through this, you can see.
So Amber, just, you want us to hold the questions to the end, or do?
Oh, no.
Chairman?
Go ahead.
So where they're crossing 48th Street, okay, because you're going across, are we crossing and staying on the path at that point, correct?
No, it would be crossed straight over to North Beach Road.
Okay.
So at slight angle onto North Beach Road.
Okay, so
Yep.
so where that, we'd end it right there on the, I want to call it the snowmobile path, or
Yep.
that. Go over, hit North Beach.
Drop down, because if you stayed up there, then you gotta navigate a big drop, so I think your design look would be better off to drop right down and stay on the edge of the road there.
All right, thank you.
So you can see on the second page there, I just drew some lines in there to kind of show the existing path and where there would be additional lines on the road to indicate where the trail is and kind of, so pedestrians stay on the side.
You mean this,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. And then that's the current condition of the trail. You can see there are some flatter areas that is just grass, but then people are obviously utilizing it. There's a narrow path that's already there. And then the next at 48th Street, that just kind of shows that little angle of where that would go. And then on North Beach Road, just having additional lines, or a line painted just to show that that's the side that will be stand for the trail. And then that last page just shows that entry point
Very
into
nice.
Wazeecha.
So where does it actually end then? At the end?
At the White Sand Beach,
At White Sand Beach.
in the area where the dam is.
Okay. And
That's where they would hop on the trail and go either way around.
either way around.
There's that path that goes right from,
Mm-hmm.
right, kind of cuts into the park.
Mhm.
Right, okay.
And
There's a cul-de-sac there, and then you would go straight into the park.
Okay. And what is the definition of hardpack?
Hardpack is, I don't know if there's a scientific definition, but it would be road base.
Oh, actual road
Basic,
base.
after road base, and then you pack it, because your road base has got all your jagged stuff, and then it forms a hard surface.
Okay.
So that's basically what you would have.
And then who would be supplying the road base?
Well, this would, there's multiple steps here. First, this proposal would need to be asked to the city of Wisconsin Rapids if they would give permission to Grand Rapids to raise funds
Okay.
for this.
Okay.
Obviously, I think our intention is to look for benefactors to see.
Grants or
grants.
something to that, okay.
A lot of times, these grants come in the neighborhood of 50/50, and you can use your own labor as part of the 50, if you had.
Now, is the 4 feet wide the actual width of what the city owns?
No, they own 100-foot wide. 100 feet, it's the old right-of-way, it's all 100 foot. So there's more, there's shoulders on one side, especially on the 32nd Street, they actually have a driving path that goes in there and goes back into their power substation from there. So the top surface of the railroad tracks is approximately, is it 4 or 6 foot maybe?
8 foot wide.
8 foot wide? So
Okay.
the idea would be
So
just
like
to.
this picture right here is like 8 foot wide?
Yep.
Yep.
which one you?
This one right here, that's 8
Okay,
foot wide. And so would this, that's not as well groomed, is that also 8
That's,
foot?
Yes.
yes, that's 8 foot wide, and the one that's more like better groomed, that's wider than 8 feet actually.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, it
more
looked like
where
it
the
to me.
residential, like houses are, that's right off 48. that
Who
one.
currently mows this? Is
Well,
it the city?
Actually, the Cumberland Knights just mowed it. They mow it once a year before they start the snowmobile season.
Oh, I see. So is there a conflict, like, for it to be a snowmobile?
There is no
trail
discussion on the
and a
table,
walking
I
path
understand.
at the same
No,
time?
it's-
Yes,
There is a conflict,
yes. You would not want it to be open to both at the same time.
okay, during the winter months?
Right. So
But during the summer.
you would have to design this trail to be a summer trail, and you do that with gates. You know,
Okay.
if you've ever been on
Yeah.
Highway J and towards Amherst a little bit, they have those gates where they're like this, so they shut those trails off for the winter, and just the snowmobile trail then becomes active.
And I think there'd be signage, you know,
Oh.
this is a path that we would put up from
Open from such date to such
X
date.
date to X date, and then, you know, for walking purposes and that.
Go ahead, Bill.
So who will maintain this?
That would have to be determined.
And the other thing is, are bicycles allowed?
Yes. With
So this is not
bike
just
and
a
walk.
walking path, this is a
Bike and walk.
bicycle?
Be a good way for, you know, people that are doing a 10-mile loop to use 4 miles to get around the lake and another 4 to get into town, get their ice cream, and then go back.
Yeah.
And what happens if there's a storm, and who will clear that? That's to be determined
Be
also?
determined. We'd have to, once this is, once we know whether the city will even allow us to do this, then we have to define responsibilities and who's in charge and whatever. So, I mean, there's many steps before this would
So
materialize in many more planning sessions.
Will Nick be involved in this?
Well, of course, he'd have to review the agreement. If the city gives us an agreement, he'd have to review it for,
He would be writing up a request for proposal on it as to the use of that?
well, the request is pretty much written here. What I was asked of when the discussion was had with the city, I was asked to present them with the concept
Okay.
of the plan. Not the plan, the concept of the plan, and then they would take it to their property and, I'm not sure what their second term of their committee is, property finance or is, whatever, for them to decide whether they would allow Grand Rapids to have this as an easement or just an agreement to be able to do. We can't request any grants for anything until, so you have a point where you have, okay, we have the ability to do this.
Collaboration
Mhm.
between them. And did you say this was 4 miles?
No,
Oh, I thought you said,
He
how
did, but
many,
it was-
okay.
well, it's from 30 to 16 blocks, so it'd be a mile and a quarter
Okay, gotcha.
by my math.
So are you looking for a motion just to say,
A
to take
motion
it
would
to the
be,
next step or what?
motion would be needed to go ahead and proceed to ask the city of Wisconsin Rapids for permission to develop the trail on it.
I'll make a motion to proceed with this walk bike trail extension proposal to,
Approach the city of Wisconsin Rapids.
yep, bring it to the city.
Motion by Dan, seconded by Arnie.
Okay.
Any more discussion?
Yes, so who's going to make this proposal? Is this where Nick's getting involved?
We will,
Or will
Yes.
you go to the city or would you just have a conversation with them? Or would there be something in writing?
yeah, my idea would be to provide Nick with this, ask him to develop the language of how to ask for use of it. Once that's done and he's satisfied, if the board wishes to see it again, we can. If not, we'll submit it to the city.
So do the gates get removed, or will the gates be closed and somebody has to open and shut them? Or will they be removed, or are we walking around and biking around those gates that are presently there?
It'll all come in the design, when we get to design. At some point in time, we need to have somebody with some design knowledge assist us. You know, there are many companies that do recreational trails, and we can ask for assistance in a design. That would be all part of the funding request that we do. We'd have to ask for a certain amount of money for development of the design, and then we get to a point where we get that, then we'd have to ask for assistance on the rest of it.
So will we see this written request before it goes to the city?
Yes.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Dan.
My understanding, this is really in the infancy stages.
Correct.
And this is just to present it to the city to see if they are at all interested or what issues that they have with it. From there, I mean, it's gonna be a long road to get this all put together. It's not gonna happen within.
But Arnie said that they have already said, just send us a proposal.
But it's not, no committee member has ever seen it, Bill, yet. The only person that even heard the conversation was the engineer for the project, engineer for the city. He said, I asked him about the preceding applications. He said, nobody ever came to us officially. We had documentation from different leadership development groups that started on this, but they never finished on it. So he said, we've never had a official request.
Okay, so then just to make it clear that it is gonna come before the board one more time before it is presented to this.
I'll have Nick at a board meeting, or if it's convenient,
Okay,
and we'll probably have budget meetings or something, we can arrange to have that before.
okay, that sounds good.
Sound good?
Now, any motion is, well, I mean, we're voting on a motion.
Yeah.
The motion was to proceed with this proposal to get it in the, I guess, stage to present it to the city of Wisconsin Rapids.
And the chairman commented that he would see that our attorney writes something up and then presents it to the board before we actually transmit it to the city.
Good.
Any other discussion? I want to thank Amber for a great job putting this together. You did a nice job.
Absolutely phenomenal.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, anybody opposed? No opposed. Thank you.
Nice job.
Okay, we are on 14, September disbursement vouchers. Any questions that I would not be able to answer?
Right.
Item 14, operator license. Do you have yours handy there, Amber?
Oh,
Would you read them, please?
sure. Ramona Bush for the store, Kelly Collins for Hoozles, Jessica Jackson for Bud's Corner Mart, and Paige Plank for Jammers.
Yeah, those 1 year or 2 year?
Those are 1 year.
1 year. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Patty?
Yes.
Seconded by
I'll second.
Amber. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No opposed? Motion carried. Following reports from committees, Public Works, I can tell you we had a subframe crackage on one of our dump trucks that the ram attaches to the frame. That piece during a moving some material broke. We had to we're in the process of getting that fixed. It's about a $7,000 estimate to repair the frame for that. No reason whatsoever that it cracked, but it did. Rick said they are still continuing to brush, mow a lot. And he said mow more than they ever mowed in any other year. And other than that, things are okay.
Mow lots.
Mowing lots around here.
Oh,
And the
I didn't know if it was lots of mowing or you're on mowing.
mowing lots, one or the other. Public safety, we didn't have a meeting, did we, Amber?
No.
Okay. Ad hoc health, did they have a meeting?
Yeah. We did have a meeting, we were getting together information to present to the board on health insurance options. We're getting stuff coming in and we should have something at budget time for sure to present to the board to see where we want to go.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, moving on to Airport Commission. Airport Commission met in September already. Myself and Commissioner Zickler met with the Fuel System Design Company, MSA, and Endpoint Solutions to clarify the scope and the design of the new fuel system. Several items were discussed to improve efficiencies, such as multiple hosings for different applications and the like. This project is not funded at this time. The design is being done so that if the commission can have the Bureau of Aeronautics out of Madison, if they have funds available this spring, we will be likely bidding it in April with late fall construction. Probably in the neighborhood of $500,000 to $600,000 project, of which the commission would be required to pay 20% of. We are also working on easement acquisitions and obstruction removals. A letter was sent to 33 parcels, basically in Wisconsin Rapids, telling them that we will be in their area, surveying the height of the trees. We're using LiDAR information along with actual measurements to see how many trees are on any properties that are higher than the restricted requirements that the FAA has. In order for the commission to keep our airways clear, we have to do this every so often. We did the east-west runways just a few years ago. Now we're working on the north-south. And before we could do anything on that runway, we would have to have the easements and the obstructions removed. So this is probably a multi-year process, probably in the neighborhood of possibly 5 years before it would get to completion with the time they determine the processes and get into the discussion with the property owners, and some may go into litigation and whatever, but it would all be done on the Bureau and the FAA's funds, with the commission being subject for, I believe, 5%. So it'd be 90% federal, 5% state, and 5% for the commission, so to do that. Jeremy went on to indicate that traffic is still relatively quiet at the airport, although we are at 64% of fuel sales, which is roughly 2/3 of normal traffic over the years. That's for jet. The 100 low lead is at 99%, which means a lot of local pilots are flying more than other years. Other items at the airport: a new gate motor controller was installed. It's still being troubleshooted a little bit. We have a new fuel card system installed. That's a point of sale card system, of which the state paid 80% of it. It was about a $16,000. And we have a bill into the state for the reimbursement of 80% of it. This system is needed to be compliant by Visa and MasterCharge. The exception is that it does not have the chip reader yet. The chip readers are still being designed for the system, and they will be installed at that point in time. And again, the state will be picking up 80% of the cost of it. We made application to county funding for initial $10,000 that we received in the past. I believe it was 10,000, Bill, is that correct? Mr. Sickler did attend on the commission's behalf. Also, I guess the hangar that was initially going to be built in Grand Rapids by Dr. Golick, he got permission from the city of Wisconsin Rapids to build on that other lot. However, he had a change in heart, and he is now currently building on the first lot that's in Grand Rapids. So that That $250,000 hangar will now be built in Grand Rapids. It's currently being built. Floor is built, he's gonna have in-floor heating and everything, he's going first class.
How is he getting water and sewer?
He's got a septic system, and he's gonna drill for a well. And he already got the septic permit, just came the other day. Any other questions?
I do.
Yes.
When it comes to the trees, are you speculating there's gonna be a lot of trees to cut, or, yeah, okay,
Probably.
yeah.
When we did the south end, that was where the creek bottom is, and you
Yeah.
had all those virgin trees.
Yes.
We had the choice, they're given the choice whether they will want them topped or totally removed, and most of them went for the total removal, and we done it.
Remember that part.
And I think,
couldn't remember how the
so,
other
and,
one was.
it depends on what it is. If it's an oak or whatever, maybe you can get by with trimming them, but if it's a tall pine, you're probably not gonna be wanting to top them. And that, there's a guidelines that the management company, MSA, would offer based upon what the BOA standards are for settlements, and then that goes from there. In the past, the commission did the east-west ourselves, the negotiation, and it was probably not our best event. We found it was much better to use the state.
Is there intergovernmental agreement?
No, not yet.
And you could tell about the hangar being an area for shops?
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Potentially, we were approached by Wood County Health to use the hangar for a drive-through vaccination clinic. It is. They came in, reviewed the site, the ability of getting vehicles in one door, and you still got to come over and see that. And then drive back out, and then go sit in an area. If the driver gets a shot, they have to stay 15 minutes before you can drive away. Another parking lot there, and then we'd funnel them out the back entrance. So the entrance to it would be the lining up off of First Street, and there's that big wide path that goes all the way almost that full mile there. So there'd be plenty of room for cars to line up, drive in, get directed in. They can turn around inside the big hangar and get their shots and get out the other door and go through there. So the health department currently doesn't know. They were told to get ready, and then they said, well, wait a while. And then I've heard again that it's gonna go quick, and then again, we don't know. So,
Can I also make a suggestion that the county is looking for a alternate for their dispatch? We do not, Marshfield used to be, but we're looking for an emergency one. And I
for a
think-
dispatch center?
Yes. And they're looking for one, and I did not mention anything at the meeting because I'm not on that committee, but it's the safety committee. And so they're out.
They want an alternate site outside of there to be able to have their
Right,
equipment?
right.
All right.
That's an ideal location because of the antenna structure you got and things like that, so.
And one more bit of information, the airport was mentioned last night at the Plan Commission meeting. We were talking about historical buildings that are in the town of Grand Rapids, and Alexander Hangar is a documented historical building in our town, so I didn't know that, so I thought
Yeah,
it was interesting.
there's been some talk about some remodeling that they would like to do to that to make that more usable. But at this point in time, there's nothing gonna happen for a few years till COVID gets out of our system. Yeah, but that's an idea that they would want to go. The other item that the airport is being looked at in this winter, next winter, there will be a state ice fishing college contest on Petenwell flowage. And they're in discussion, looking for a place just to stage the evening before, get their stuff where they're supposed to go fish, and they may be interested in using the hangar for that because of its
Large
largeness.
capacity.
I just have one more question. Is the commission going to ask Adams County for money? That's a question that came up.
Not directly with Adams County, but yes for Rome.
I meant the town of Rome, or whatever.
Right, a request is being made on our behalf.
Okay, thank you.
Economic development, I guess that was pretty much the trail. Nothing else going on there, Amy? All right, Amber, I'm sorry. Recycling, solid waste, anything new?
No, nothing new. We plan on having something with the water, but I still can't have it because of the DNR and the different people that are locked up.
In the compost.
Did you talk with that gal over in the town of Grant yet?
Yeah,
I can't remember her name. Starting.
Ruben's mother.
Starting a
Van
recycling.
Tassel.
Oh,
Van Tassel.
Yeah.
Yes. We are communicating. with
Apparently
them.
she's taking stuff for free, correct?
Yes, yes. But
I think that's been on.
We
that
are
side.
talking about composter and things that are going on there. Sound exciting, so.
Okay.
We're going to be getting together the budget items for the compost site when the town had given us permission to pursue getting costs, and
Mhm.
that's,
Okay, legislative? Nothing else to report, is there? Do we have anything on our, or I can't ask Lisa. Lisa? If we have something coming up, then we'll confirm that with Nick, we'll get on it. Public buildings, did you have anything?
Nope.
WTA meeting, Bill announced in the form of an email that next meeting has been canceled.
So did you all get a copy of that, or did you just get my email?
I just got you.
Oh, is that right? I just wondered what clerks are
Oh,
going to
but
do.
there
be-
was
it was-
something I got in the original mail, but that was an invite.
The Towns Association
Yeah.
sent somebody out, something out for all of us, and Pat and I didn't have to go through calling everybody.
I saw it in the form of an email from the Towns Association, yes. Patty, do you want to discuss what happened in the Plan Commission? Anything good, bad, or different?
We always have such a good meeting. Our group was great. We had one dog exemption. We had one certified survey mat that was splitting 11.64 acres into 2 lots. And then we had another zoning permit application over there on A Street. And of course, we had our 2 comprehensive map recommendations to the town board that we had this evening. And then we also had our discussion on one of the, part of the comprehensive plan that was in regards to the natural, agricultural, and cultural resource element. And that's where Chris Stofflet had mentioned that the town in the survey did say that there was like 90% of the people that replied saying that they do like agricultural, or they like the setting of the woods. That's where Chris was in reference to.
I think our survey was not quite that strong, but I think it was
Yeah.
strongly pointed that they like the larger.
Yeah, I believe in the comprehensive plan, I think it was 90%.
Was it?
Yeah, it was extremely strong.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, even your economic committee that you have here, you know what I mean? They want businesses and things like that, you know, that's got to come into play too.
Mhm.
And then I also have, Dan, you had asked at the annual meeting what the acreage that was annexed in 2014, 20 acres, 20.7, or I told you I'd get back to you. And in 2014, the acreage that was annexed was 16.85 acres that went to Aspirus.
Oh,
There was 1.158 that was from Carlson. There was 1.48 that had gone to the city, or it was city property.
City purchased it.
Yes. .46 was another individual with the last name of Clavine, and .78 was Motto. So it was 5 different.
And that would be that Chestnut Street and 54 where the homes were on at one time?
yep,
That's that piece there.
that's a chunk there.
Mhm.
So that was your answer.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else for the Plan Commission? Personnel?
Personnel did not meet.
Okay. Reports of individual board members. Dan, anything?
No, I don't want it this time.
Patty?
Nothing at this time.
Bill? Amber? Myself, I have no other comments, and I just wish people would pay attention to wearing the mask whenever they can. Obviously, the number of coronavirus is going on. There's 50 new added to the list from the dispatch center on Monday from the weekend. There's currently double-digit numbers of COVID active in Grand Rapids, and I'd like to see those go down as quickly as we can so that we can all get on with our lives. So please take care, people.
Wash your hands.
Wear your mask. Future agenda items, do we have anything specifically we needed to put on other than the letter that we get Nick to write for us?
I would also at the table, maybe the discussion on option for selling next
Oh,
meeting.
okay, right. I've got an idea what he wanted, if you want me to explain that.
Yeah,
He did briefly tell me in case he wasn't able to get here.
yeah, like, do we want to?
You want to put it back on the table for now, and then if you want to table it after I tell you?
Yep.
Okay, we'll put item
Well,
12 back on. Bob's idea is to start now and initially offer it to the public. He has a network of fire chiefs associations within the state of Wisconsin. He's suggesting that we start with an asking price of near $70,000. We've got a month or two to play with. If we get any offers from there, if we don't, then he says we should using Brinkler or Brintle or Brinkler was the agency that sells specifically fire trucks. He is concerned, he doesn't want to see us have to go to the Wisconsin surplus, because normally what you get on there is salvage prices.
we'll get 10 cents on the dollar.
Yep, so,
Why they donate it to our airport, put it in a new hangar. Well, the other thing is too is.
can't store it anyway with truck.
Yep, we're going to, again, we need to start looking at this, obviously, and coming up with some pricing. I think Bob can come up with a fair market value and whatever. But when the new one comes, there's gonna be an issue with where to put it,
Right.
because you're not gonna be able to sit outside.
No, we'd have to put it in a warm building, or, well, once we drain all the water out of it, it would be able to be put in cold storage.
Yeah, so I would,
I think if you, yeah, you're right. I think if he starts right away and goes ahead with it, and then we should know within a month if we got anybody local that's interested in it.
Yep, we'll definitely know the interest. I think that's a good plan.
Agreeable? Consensus is agreeable? Okay, I'll tell him to go ahead and see what he can do.
I would like him to come to the board though with a price, before he.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think he told me he'd like to start it at 69.9.
And I don't know if that's good, bad, or otherwise.
Right.
I don't want to speak on tape here
Yeah.
for obvious reasons.
Well, we're gonna have budget meetings and
Well, very soon, well, probably next week already.
I think we could, probably, we could put that.
Put it on an agenda for them?
agenda item and
Sure.
then we could let us know.
Okay, sounds good.
Is the Tahoe, had any bids on it, or?
We didn't put the Tahoe for sale. We're holding on to that. We sold the squad cart,
Yeah.
and we got 9,000 plus. Tahoe we use quite a bit. There will be another squad if request, I think budget requests. Before I go into closed session, what Lisa said that she'd like to schedule the first meeting very soon, and that would be the meeting where the various groups come to us and with their wish list, and we sit down and say, okay, what are we gonna, it's gonna be very hard to have numbers. She's gonna have to work hard on this and quick, but we'll have to put a budget together relatively quick this year, because with this main election causing all her labor, it's just, there was another 40 applications in the mail on this weekend again. We thank the public very much for coming this evening.